Thank you very much indeed for your time, Ms. Dalivachenko, joining us to talk about what is happening here. We're trying to get an understanding here of how successful this offensive has been and what is now happening at the edge of that offensive in terms of how much ground has been taken. Can you update us on what you understand the current situation is?
Yes, this is the 202 days of war in Ukraine, and up to date, since the beginning of this September, Ukrainian armed forces regained or liberated more than 3,000 square miles of Ukrainian territory. So this is, without any doubt, a turning point in this war. In this war which Russia launched and started against us. But this time, we're really getting back our homeland and our cities. Same time, what we see, if you'll ask me, on these liberated territories areas, we see a lot, hundreds of military vehicles of Russians abandoning by Russians as they fled. Mm-hmm. We see thousands of those, let's say, remains of people, let's say, war crimes, what Russia committed under the occupation, during the occupation. And so far, what we revealed is many of those so-called torturing places organized by Russians during the occupation to torture people, to torture even through the electricity using against civilians. That's how Russian so-called world looked like at those Ukrainian territories which Valentin? Are now liberated.
Valentin, in terms of next steps, is there a pause? Are you going to keep pushing through, consolidate gains? Walk me through the strategy.
Yes. Yeah, the strategy is to keep pushing. As I mentioned to you, this more than 3,000 square miles so far liberated, plus what is happening, our army is cutting down the supplies from Belgorod, Russian territories to those Russian troops and pro-Russian illegal troops in Donetsk and Lugansk regions. So by these means and by these efforts, Ukrainian army would like to really cut off those, let's say, war supplies lines and other, let's say, supplies and hubs being organized by Russia during the occupation.
What kind of a response are you anticipating from Russia, from Russian forces?
Let me tell you, as soon as Ukrainian army has liberated the Kharkiv region, what we have just discussed with you, Russia immediately, same night, launched against Kharkiv city, against our civilians, several missiles and destroyed electricity facility, which actually caused the blackout for the whole city, more than 1 million people, which caused blackout and cut off the water supply and other supplies necessary and vital for any city. With more than 24 hours, people, civilians, suffered of no water, no electricity. So far, we have restored it, but this is how Russia actually leads this war against us. Mm-hmm. Killing civilians, killing in revenge when our army, let's say, ousting them out of Ukrainian territory. This is how we look every day. And even 30 minutes ago, it was the last air raids availing in Ukraine. They've attacked another city in the center of Ukraine, Kryvyi Rih, using again and again Russian missiles.
Can you give us an update on the nuclear station and the work surrounding that and the situation there?
I can tell you that, unfortunately, the efforts of international community, atomic energy watchdog groups, and us, Ukrainian authorities, we have failed to restore the demilitarized zone around the biggest in Europe nuclear powerful plant, nuclear powerful station, Zaporizhzhia power plant. So far, Russian troops are in the plant. So far, they here with the arms, with ammunition, with the vehicles, military vehicles. So far, it's under the occupation. That's why our government decided to cool down the nuclear powerful plant, as we don't understand what is happening there, as well as we can provide enough security And again, international community and us, we're still insisting on Russians to get out, to let's say drive out all the military units and vehicles from the power station.
Final quick question, Valentin. How much do you need from the West now in terms of military equipment? There's obviously been a migration to using more NATO equipment, but you're capturing a lot of ex-Soviet equipment as well. How are you integrating the two? What do you still need?
Actually, what is happening now since the beginning of September, this is how all combined efforts of us Ukrainians and international community, with the leading role of the United States or the United Kingdom, Poland and other our allies, we have now enough capacity and force to really oust the Russian troops out of Ukraine. That's one thing. Plus what we gain through those, let's say, counteroffensives, this is a lot of hundreds of Russian military vehicles. They cannot be used to some extent because they are very old Soviet style. Same time, they are, let's say, not even necessary so much as we now are using, as well as NATO countries, the another standards, another calibers, another types of weapons. But what is good, that Russia does not have them anymore. Believe me, the army, let's say the Russian army, what was, let's say, ousted out from Kharkiv region, that was the first tank army for the defending of Moscow, the capital of Russia. But for some reasons, they have moved it into Ukraine, and it was like destroyed by by Ukrainian army. This is how it's, let's say, looks like at the ground here in Ukraine.
Valentin, we appreciate your time today. Stay safe. Valentin Nalyvaishenko, Ukrainian MP, joining us. Thank you very much.